Gaming on the ROG Ally means getting out into the wild, and also getting out there with others. Here are the best co-op and couch play games to play on ROG's amazing handheld PC. Oh, hello there, and welcome to ROG Global. We just can't stop looking for new experiences that make the most of the ROG Ally lately, and our handheld PC with incredible specs that lets you play all your games anywhere. And this week we got to thinking about sharing that experience, couch play and co-op games, the titles that unite us and then divide us, and then we cool off again and we tell ourselves that it's just a game in the mirror a few times until we're ready for another round. So without further ado, let's get into some of our picks for co-op and couch play experiences to share on the Ally. Roll the thing.
Are you ready for the roller coaster ride of your life?
The best way to settle an arcade dispute since forever, Street Fighter has transcended gaming long ago, and I'm not just talking about the 1994 movie, which was criminally overlooked by the Academy in my opinion. Anyway, Street Fighter 6 is about as perfectly poised and fiercely competitive as PC gaming gets. The skill ceiling is so high that you'll get a nosebleed just looking up to the top. The best players count the frames of every character's every move with absolute precision. The rest of us are just happy to make the silliest character in number 6's amazing creator and have a few brawls. For both crowds, Capcom's Evergreen Fighter is essential couch play. Two gruff men with serious noses decide to break out of prison. As it turns out, that's the premise for one of the most inventive and enthralling co-op experiences we've ever seen on PC, courtesy of Hazelight Studios and film director Joseph Fares. It definitely pays its dues to classic Prison Break movies, and it's not just the fact that it's so cine-literate that impresses here. The two of you are always in control, sometimes off doing totally different things in different environments, but both connected via split screen. And when the action gets tense, you can sync up more closely to get yourself out of brawls or distract guards from the fact that one of you is chiseling away at the back of his toilet. Classic friendship goals stuff. That approach to co-op means that you both feel like you've got equal agency and investment in the story. The world's reacting to both of you, viewing you as distinct characters from one another, which is a real rarity for the medium. Break out of the usual confines of PC gaming with your ally together, find a nice spot, and co-op your way through the closest thing we've got to a Shawshank 'em up on PC.
Come on, Leo!
Larian's take on the time-honoured fantasy RPG is part turn-based tactics with an emphasis on creating status effects, and part improv comedy. Doesn't sound like it should work on paper, does it? But here we all are, 300 hours later, absolutely spellbound by Divinity Original Sin 2. As if soaking people in oil so that the fire arrows you're about to launch hurt extra hard wasn't fun enough, the unique co-op element here means that everyone in your party is free to do their own thing almost all the time. Productive groups might solve multiple quests in tandem for the shared XP. The opposite mindset to that might spend all their time actively sabotaging other members of their team. Why? Oh, don't know really, because you can, I suppose. Fun anyway. All of which makes Divinity II much more than an epic story about magical slavery and astrophysical power struggles. You really care about finding a better sword or finishing that murder mystery side quest because you're given such unique agency in the world. And every time you decide to experiment and test the boundaries, you're rewarded. So it's about as good as co-op gets is what I'm saying. Try it and then clear your calendar for the next year because you've got a world to save. Basketball might be the perfect sport for video games. Now hang on, really hear me out here. So it's 5v5, which is big enough for sick pick and roll plays and screens, but small enough that you can keep track of every player during a possession and use the entire unit to find space in the paint or get a man free and sink a three-pointer. Plus, it's a strong link sport, which means the elite plays of the very best players determine the outcome more than the mistakes of the weakest players. What I'm really saying there is that AD, Bam, Giannis and co are basically already superpowered video game characters before they're actually turned into video game characters. And all this waffle is basically an attempt to understand how Visual Concepts' NBA 2K series looks, sounds and feels so good year on year. My career never gets old. Being a GM and building a dynasty, likewise. It's just such a convincing universe of basketball where every Euro step and every buzzer beater feels authentic and right. And if you've been honing your skills on the series for years now, it is absolutely essential that you load this one up in couch play and show your mates that you're basically the Michael Jordan of basketball. Hang on, that one doesn't quite work, does it? Cards and football. Such a simple idea when you see it executed as flawlessly as this. Makes you wonder why we haven't been playing car football since the earliest days of video games instead of all those platformers. Why didn't I think of car football? Well done for beating everyone to that one, Rocket League. Like all the best sports games, the genius here is that you can watch it being played and understand exactly what you need to do in about 3 seconds. You drive the car into the ball so it goes in the goal, right? Okay, cool, just checking. And then spend the next 3 years perfecting the subtleties involved in doing that right. Balletic backflips, last-ditch saves, cheeky deflections, stuff that makes you actually get up and punch the air when you pull it off. Actually thinking about it, if you are playing this one on the Ally in public, maybe scan your surroundings before launching into full celebration mode. Azus takes no legal liability for poked eyes or spilled lattes caused by last-minute winners. Here we see some wonderful footage from Friendship Ruiner Simulator 2018, known colloquially as Overcooked II. It's not just cutesy cooking. Somehow this utterly chaotic kitchen management indie makes shouting at your loved ones and dearest pals a legitimately enjoyable experience. I mean, honestly, why aren't they just washing up the dishes like we all agreed they'd do before the start of this round? And who is serving up? But stick with it, and playing Overcooked 2 starts to feel like being a Formula 1 pit crew engineer or an air traffic controller. You know, someone really competent and unflappable who walks into a high pressure environment and just flourishes. And then the kitchen breaks in half and you're all back to being squabbling school kids. Which obviously means this is an absolutely essential co-op experience on the Ally. Co-op games are something of a specialty for Haze-like studios, which explains why they're making their second appearance on this list. And It Takes Two is really a testament to what an absolute master this studio is at co-op, because you wouldn't have thought an interactive divorce simulator, but with a sprinkle of Pixar-style fantasy and a rich vein of wholesomeness running through it, It Takes Two never feels like an emotional slog. Instead, it's an adventure, it's a puzzle game and a platformer. Sometimes it's a racing game. Honestly, it's like every new area becomes a different genre, so keen to entertain you with a new idea and a heart-rending metaphor accompanying it. One bespoke set piece after another, you learn what it takes to keep a relationship going, and that it's not always easy or glamorous. Sometimes, you just have to suck it up and accept it's your turn to put the bins out.
Hold it right there. Look at these dolls. Almost forgot they used to be humans.
There we go then, a few picks to start off your co-op and couch play journey with the ROG Ally. But half the fun of this device is experimenting with all the titles you can try on it, so we've really just scratched the surface here. And if you've got recommendations of your own, we want to hear about them down in the comments. Like this video if you want to, subscribe to us at ROG Global for more, and we'll catch you in another one.